organization that was set up about 28 years ago to help kids 13 and up that are having issues with gangs, trying to be forced to join gangs, trying to get out. And we also offer support for kids who made their way out. We do this in several different ways. My position at Fort Grass is education specialist, so it's my job to show kids educational and employment opportunities that they normally don't see in our community. So that's the favorite part of my job. The part I hate is the reason we're here. Is some of our clients still caught up in this life and they don't make it, or they end up getting sentenced to long prison terms. We're trying to stop those things with Grass. One thing we would do is we offer a Thursday night meeting, support meeting for children, for parents, for anybody that is involved in this and needs that support. It's every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Right now it's virtual because, of course, everything kind of dangerous when we want to be gathering. So we do it virtually, but we normally do it at 303 West Colfax in the probation office. So we feed them dinner and they're able to talk. And these are kids that come from all kinds of neighborhoods all across Denver. So we've never had any issues. It's just a way for kids to get some of the things that they go through, on a weekly basis off their chest and kind of share those things. And, some of the kids, a lot of the kids don't look alike. So it's also about these kids understanding that they may not look alike, but they have a lot of shared experience. So, and a lot of shared trauma. So we try to get all that underhand and do that every Thursday night. So if you want any information about that, come up and talk to me. I also have the McBride Impact, which is my 501(c), and we do different programming for kids all across the city. We go off the 4 E's, which is equity, equality, employment, and education. We try to teach kids, especially in our neighborhoods, Black and brown kids, some values, financial literacy, aviation. Just go to McBrideImpact.org and check out some of those programs. So I'm going to pass the mic to my right, to Shalonda here, and she's going to let you know about her organization. And then we'll just go around there. And if you have an organization, if you have an organization, feel free to come up and we'll make sure we highlight you too.
Hi, my name is Shalonda Haggerty. I am the founder of Star Girls Empowerment, Inc. We are a girl-focused organization, and what we do is provide personal development for a trauma intervention and prevention program. The girls in our program range from ages 10 through 24, and we focus on all the girls in Colorado. Our main focus is the far northeast Denver and the North Aurora area, where we provide services at the Heavy Hands, Heavy Hearts Center. And we do currently have our sessions, which are face-to-face right now. And they are broken up on Tuesday through Thursdays by age bracket and grade level. So if you have any girls or know any girls that are currently experiencing trauma, abuse, sexual abuse, that's our main focus, and grief and loss. We do offer mental health counseling as well. Those services are provided for those who are looking for them.
I'm Lamumba Heavy Hands Sayers from the Heavy Hands, Heavy Hearts Foundation and Center. I got the community center off of 23rd Dayton, 2360 Dayton Street, and we help teach not only kids but adults and young adults how to deal with everyday situations through mixed martial arts. We teach them basic instructions, basic love, self-love, and just how to cope with everyday situations through teaching them mixed martial arts. We have an entrepreneur program where we actually been helping people start their own businesses in the community. We do monthly feedings up for the community. We do monthly community service to just get back to the community and teach the kids what it's like to get back. One of the things that we've been doing here lately is actually stopping some of the violence. Going out here and having face-to-face encounters with these kids and approaching the kids that everybody's afraid of. We are actually going to talk to these kids, and these young adults, and loving them and teaching them a better way to live, other than just trying to tell them what to do. We show them what to do and how to do it. Now, I'm not going to hold their hands, but if they want to come and work it out, we're going to be there to help them work it out. We actually have a program that my son started and some of his friends, and I'll let my son elaborate more on that program.
So I started the Gloves Up, Guns Down, Get Your Heads Up in the Hood program back in January with Nehemiah, Hawaii Sayers, and Abdullah Kidar. And we started it after it was like 5 mass shootings in January, all young teenagers, 14 through 17 years old. And we just wanted to put something together to bring everybody together because we were losing a lot of people. And the event, it was going good. We had a successful event 3 weeks in a row. And sometimes we don't even have it's like our event, it's about like solving your problems so that you don't have to worry about looking behind your back or worrying about if somebody's gonna get you or anything like that. So we have people put on the boxing gloves and get the gloves and they squash their beef right after they shake hands. Sometimes they talk it out or they just dead the situation. And that's something that we've been doing, and it kind of stopped the violence a lot because we had like a bunch of even gang members come through. And there was some times where it got rowdy, but we kept it under control. And but that's something that everybody's been looking forward to coming back. So we're coming back this Sunday, and we'll be located at the Heavy Hands, Heavy Heart Center.
Real quick, there's a young man in here, Corey Thurman. He actually helped us start our entrepreneur program at the Heavy Hands, Heavy Heart Center. So I just want to give him a shout out because he was like the first person to write the program at the Heavy Hands, Heavy Heart Center for our business program. And he did keep a lot of youth out of trouble and help them start businesses as he taught his program last year with us. So I just want to give him a shout out for being our leader of the community.
My name is Terrence Roberts. I'm the co-founder of the Frontline Party for Revolutionary Action. We formed as a group last year around the homicide of Elijah McClain to get justice for Elijah McClain. And since then, we do revolutionary actions. We shut down city council, we surrounded police stations, we're doing whatever we want to do until we get justice for Elijah McClain. So that's why we formed as a group. We work with Leslie Harrod, Senator Coleman, soon to be Senator Coleman. I should say around Senate Bill 217, whatever is around police accountability, we're working with that. I also ran the Prodigal Son Initiative for 12 years, where we did direct actions also around youth and gang violence. So I'm very familiar with the conversation. I have been detached from the gang and youth violence conversation for a few years. We've been getting a bunch of calls saying, you need to come back. We need the help of FPRA. The Mamba and them, they're doing the work directly with youth. We have prevention programs. And so FPRA, we just want to see how we can get better involved. And myself, Jason, Candace, I talked to the Mamba, all of us, talked to Coach I, and we just came together to say, let's have a meeting and let's show the community that we are focused on youth and gang violence, because we know the narrative that they are pushing, people who are against Black people, that we don't care about the murder of our own youth if it's us doing it, but that's a damn lie. We do care, excuse me, for clergy and kids are in here. I don't mean to be disrespectful to the community, but that is a lie, okay? We are concerned, and we're here right now to show it, and not only we concerned, but obviously you guys are too, okay? So that's what we do. We work around police accountability, and we do whatever we need to do in the community to be helpful.
Hi, y'all. My name is Candace Bailey, and I am the founder of Lighthouse Consultants Colorado. I have worked in juvenile justice for more than a decade, so some of where I was and where I am are intersecting. Working in juvenile justice for so long, there were a lot of disparities and things that were happening that required different action. And so there was another part of me that was set on fire, and I started writing policy about 5 years ago. I was one of the original writers of police legislation here in Colorado. At the beginning of the year, Terrence and I went to the Capitol. We talked to several people. We know that it looks like we're just out here yelling, but there's a lot of work that we are doing behind the scenes to make sure that our youth and our families are protected, loved, and that there is actual action, not just yelling in a street, not just disrupting lives, but actually changing the narrative of what's happening with our youth. We also do a group called Motherhood out of Lighthouse, and that stems from violence in our lives. So myself and Topaz McBride, she's somewhere in the room. She is my co-facilitator. She is our mental health expert in the room. Sorry, this does not seem like it's working. Can you guys hear me? So Topaz and I began this group, gosh, when was that? Late last year. We have several members, and it is for mothers who have lost their children to violence. It also has a fatherhood connection through fatherhood support services. And so there are many pieces as to why I'm here. We also have a sister organization, the Compound of Compassion, which puts youth into our community, helping those at risk. They delivered medication and food and anything you could think of to our elderly when COVID was happening and even prior. And so there are several overlapping things that are happening in our communities. And so violence that is happening is not just gang related, and that also needs to be reiterated. This is not only a gang related issue, it is violence within our home that happens in domestic violence. There are many issues that need to be tackled. Absent parents, depending on the system. There is violence financially, mentally, medically, emotionally, physically. I could run down the list and we'd be here all night. However, our group is looking at tackling the major issues, the day-to-day issues, preparing for our next lockdown in COVID. They're trying to send our children back to school. How are we preparing for that? We have many overlapping issues, but the underlying things that are happening will require women and mothers overall to become involved. We have to stop the domestic violence that is killing our children, because it is a direct route to the violence that then leads into joining a gang and all of these beautiful things. So, and that was very sarcastic. I also want to acknowledge that I have received several text messages that some of you are triggered by the police presence, and I want to acknowledge that. I cannot dampen that spirit, and I want it to be something that is acknowledged because that's real within our community. We have to come together as a community in all ways possible. And I know that a lot of this is going to be triggering. It's not going to feel well, but it is time we stop putting Band-Aids on bullet wounds. And so I feel like we need to have a lot of really open gate conversation. I feel like it is up for a conversation in the room. But if you do notice, there's paper on every table around the room for you to write ideas and thoughts. But I'd like us to be thinking action. So everything we are talking about as a unit, I want us to think action attached to it and giving us action, because we're here to help, but we cannot move this alone. This is what you have to tell us, what you need us to do, and how we move the mark with you as a community, not without you.
My name's Tori Banks. I don't think I do.
Just try.
I'll just turn it on. Push all the way up. My name's Tori Banks. I'm here, been here all my life. Associated, trying to become a leader inside of a bad situation. I pray for everybody in here. I thank God for everybody. Terrence, my best friend since I was a kid, his dad, we grew up right next to each other in the same spot. He knows my whole story. Long story short, criminal justice reform is very necessary in cutting the recidivism rates out here. I know for a fact. I know that we all need each other. I've started from Scratch LLC, where knuckleheads become entrepreneurs. I don't have a building. I don't have a loan. I haven't had anything but this idea since I got out of prison in 2015. And I'm trying to get you guys a part of it. So I think what helps for me when trying to take leadership is group accountability. It's not, it ain't just up to that big brother or the OG that everybody look up to. It actually starts with the whole family and the associates and everybody involved. And you can't be afraid to get involved when there's problems. I mean, the heads up thing is great, but it's kind of more deeper than just a fight, you know, but we all gonna make it. I just think criminal justice reform, we need to put all our ideas together, Ms. Candace, and it's basically like a app that should be accessible for every person in Colorado first, since we were the first to come up with tablets. Colorado inmates have tablets. It starts with them first and our youth in there as well. Juvenile detention centers, everyone should have access to tablets, privacy tablets, to get focused up on private mental health counseling. And if they have any legal issues with their cases, they need actual help from a standpoint that we all care. And we also must do things like we see on Facebook, you know, all these reenactments of comic skits of stupid ideas. Maybe we need to take these plots, these situations that gang members find themselves in, and exploit them through you know what I mean, like a platform where we can provide a solution that is not offensive, not like telling, not, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Trying to say, Terrence?
I try to do, but you're not going to get all the way out. Go ahead, we're going to give you got the mic, so explain it out, brother.
Yes, sir. So to put it all in a nutshell, I have an app invention that has to be legally mandated for it to work. Inmates will be able to make money. Gang members who are idle time, no money, no way to make it, they can make money through my app. On the spot flagging. Colorado has $1.5 billion in reserve money for road construction. Why not put an app up and make everybody available? If you're in this area, on the spot flagging. If you're in this area, you can sign up, you get paid as soon as you finish the job. Yes, but this is for the families of the prisoners. It's all going to be intertwined. If they sign up for this, they get the inmate that they choose get a free membership to the services that we provide. Which will
Here's a result from the web.
Like I said, I'm brainstorming, but it's all written. Maya Wheeler is a politician that was running for Arapahoe County. She still has my back. She has ties with the Attorney General. It's in progress. Yes, I just need everybody to understand that it's real and it can work.
You need help.
I need help pushing this app out, and I think it'll work.
I don't mean to step in, but I'm Joel Hodge, and I'm the founder of the Struggle Love Foundation, and we do several things out in the community. There's no need to go into that. But I think the real reason why we called this meeting is for what this brother is saying. We need help. We need support. We need love for our organizations to grow and get a little bit bigger so we can provide more help in different neighborhoods. And for me, instantly, this brother right here, his program should be in Montbello, Park Hill, whatever you want, the east side, the 5 Points, whatever you want to call it now. Another one in South Aurora, so he can serve more children. This brother needs the same thing, so he can hire more people, so he can help people with their dreams. That's what we're calling the community out for. It's like we're marching for everything, but we need to march for everything, if that makes sense. When there's a shooting in Montbello, a shooting in Park Hill, let's show up thousands. Surround these houses with love. Surround these houses with mental health help. So for us in the far northeast, we try to do things a little bit different. We work together. I work with Faber, I work with Mark, I work with every Step Success. Everybody's over there. We work together, right? We have one mission. And we're trying to build this mission over there. But also, I'm sad because I wish I had enough to include all of these brothers to come over there and help us. But they got to stay in their area because they only have that little bit. So that's what we're calling out for, help. Help. If you really about it, you really care, grab a baby. Just one. Make them your son, make them your daughter. Be there for them till they grow all the way up to about 24, 26. And then you might be able to let them go a little bit. Say, here you go, have a try.
All right, tell them what you do so they can know how to help with the food bank and how they can help.
Well, for me, I think a lot of people in here do help. They come out and volunteer at the food bank. They come up to the marches, they show up. But another thing is we have a mighty thing called the dollar as well. So we were talking about a plan of thousands of black men and black women putting in $1,000. That would come up to $1 million, right? We buy our own property. We fill that up with our own grocery stores, our own centers, our own health, our own mental health people. We got to start taking care of ourselves a little bit. We got to start loving each other, trusting each other, no matter the past, no matter what nobody said, nobody did on Facebook, even us together as organizations need to get our fucking act together.
Yeah. Just like that.
Because these brothers have taught me. They've taught me to my face. Certain things you got to change too. And I said, well, I'm willing to learn. Help me learn. Teach me. Also, we got to be able to accept us as we are. We are who we are, right? We love what we love, right? We love our hairstyle. We love our change. We love our, this is what we like. We like cars. We like that stuff. So accept us and love us, even through our mistakes and our pitfalls that we fall in. That's all we asking for, is some backing from you. If you really about it. But if you ain't really going to say, hey, baby, give these babies a hug and accept them the way they are, then just stay away. So that way we can get you guys out the way. So we can have real soldiers out here on the ground, boots on the ground doing our thing. That's all I wanted to say. Glad y'all came out to support what these brothers have put together. And I'm in 100%. I'm in 100%. So you can send your babies. If you got babies that need community service, you got babies that want to work, a couple dollars, they come to the food bank, hand out some food, learn how to run a job, learn how to even, learn how to even write grants, write proposals for your little dream, your little goal. Because our babies want to be entrepreneurs. They want to own their own stuff. They don't want to work. They want to work for themselves. They want to build their own capital. Teach us how to do that. Give us a hand in doing that. But anyway, I can go on and on. I love y'all. Please, if you got any hands on any baby, grab them, hold them in the house with you. Hold them in there. If your basement is full of them, like mine, the whole house is full with kids. That ain't mine. Great. But try it. It's a couple. If each one of y'all just took one, it looks like that'd be 500 kids. Each one took two. We confused, we lost, we've been abused. We've been abused. Coming out the womb. We don't know nothing but violence. So we here. And if we ain't got no love to turn to nowhere around us, we gonna find it. And it may be the wrong way, it's always the wrong way. But I just want to thank y'all again for your support for what these men are about to go and do. Because it's dangerous when this brother goes and meets with hundreds of kids, different gangs. Who does that? Who can do that? I'm just being honest. You know what I said? I was growing up, I said, for some visual. Please call me when it's over. Because there's certain things I just can't do that he can do. So we just try to put those pieces to the puzzle together. That's all, because we got them all here. We just got to connect them. But I love y'all. Thank you. I love y'all so much. Be careful, please. Please.
Okay, everybody. So, thank you, Coach Ryan, for that. So we're gonna let Lauren speak. Brandon, are you gonna speak to brother and Jermaine? So after that, we are here for action items. We do want to talk about prevention versus intervention. Okay, there is a difference. We want to see who is interested in doing either one of those items and have a different kind of discussion. But I just want to say that to you guys, so hold tight. Don't think we're just here to tell you guys what we've done in the community.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm gonna be quick because there's a lot of us in here and it's hot. So, yeah, I can't breathe. All right, so my name is Lawrence Goshan. I am known as the Aurora guy. I worked for AGRIP when there was funding. I currently work for GRASP. I am also the founder of the G Code, which stands for Graciousness, Conduct, Organization, Discipline, and most of all, education. So I have a quick story, let's call synopsis about myself, whatever. I'm the suburban kid turned gang member, went to the penitentiary, gang member got tired of shit, period. All I'm here to do is to do whatever the kids need. I don't care about nothing else. If I gotta do prevention, intervention, I'm with it. I put out a GoFundMe about 2 weeks ago, trying to raise money to get the kids their own building somewhere close to Aurora Mall or off of Colfax. Now in this building, what I need is to have 24-hour access for the kids, because the kids out in the streets are out there at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're not gonna come.
It's that middle area right there.
The middle area? Okay. I want them to have beds, TVs, washing machines, dryers, things like Lumumba has, be able to come just do whatever anytime. So that's my goal right now. I made a GoFundMe a couple weeks ago. If you want to donate to it, please find me. My name is Lawrence Goshan, Goshon. I would really appreciate it. As soon as I get to 10,000, I'm gonna go get that building and start off with 6 months, see how it goes. And if it's successful, then I'll be trying to push it to keep going. If there's anything you guys need from me, you can find me on Facebook again, Lawrence Goshan, or you can call me. Telephone number 303-648-1905. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna be quick. I don't think I need this mic. My name is Brandon Pryor, co-founder of Warrior Nation and Warriors for High Quality Schools. I just have a quick question for a few of the elected officials in the room. Right, there were some funds that were supposed to be coming out from DPS specifically to combat this youth violence during the summer. Where are those funds at? The city of Denver was supposed to match $100,000, match that money, $200,000 that we could be using right now. Instead, the DPS in the city sitting on those dollars while our kids are dying in the street. So our kids have more access to semi-automatic and fully automatic weapons than they do programs in their own community. And it's furious when I get a call or I gotta watch a Facebook Live from one of my friends sobbing, grown man sobbing because his stepson just gets killed. And one of my players on my team had to watch his friend die. And when I get to him, he's covered in his blood the other night. Another one of my players shot in the back of the leg. They got more access to this BS than they do programs. Because people with money and access ain't providing the access to our kids. It's shameful, man. So whoever's elected official in this room, James Coleman.
I'm right here.
Everybody.
We got dollars though.
What's that?
So where's the money?
Where's the money?
Hold on. One at a time. I got you. Let him finish. And you come up. Hold on, let him finish, and then he can come up. There's going to be order in this meeting. Or we're going to have that meeting in this building.
But all this craziness of everybody talking over everybody, if that's what it's gonna be, and can't nobody listen to nobody, I'm out. I don't want to be part of this meeting. Because every time we go to a meeting or something, somebody always want to argue and get their point across instead of letting somebody answer and attacking people. If that's what this is about, I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired of everybody want to be the right person and somebody want to get their point across and got their own agenda. This ain't about y'all. I'm the one who keep losing all my cousins that's dying. Elijah McClain, Tavion Washington.
Come on.
I'm the one who keep losing all my cousins to dying. So if y'all about what y'all want to talk about, and this ain't about helping these kids, and it's about anything else, I'm out. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of this stuff. So if y'all, I don't care about no money. I've been putting my money in the community, period. If y'all need money to do this work, then y'all in the wrong business. Money helps. That's cool. That's money. Put the money out there. That's cool. Get the money. But if that's what y'all talking about, and y'all want to go love and hug on these kids and show them a different way, then I don't want to have nothing to do with none of this shit.
I'm out here with these kids
I'm tired of
every
it,
day.
man. I'm tired. Hey, come on, homie. I ain't interrupting you while you talking. It's cool. I'm telling everybody.
Hey, is it about the kids? I'm gonna talk to both of y'all. Is it about the kids, Brandon? Mother, is it about the kids or y'all?
It is about the kids.
All right?
Hey.
Now I'm intervening.
Mr. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, let him go. Mama, love you, brother. You gotta go. We love you, Mama. We love you, Mama. Mama, we love you, but you gotta go, bro.
We can agree to disagree, everybody. We can agree to disagree. Why? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on?
Camera's off.
Hey, turn the camera
Hey,
on, man.
can everybody settle down? Can everybody settle down? Can we think about these youth? Man, no, can you go sit down too? Okay,
Hey, everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down.
Can y'all sit down, please?
Have a seat.
Are we here for these
Everybody sit
kids?
down. Everybody sit down.
Hold on, JJ. Are we here for these babies, y'all? Are we here for these kids? Are we here for the kids?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep saying, are we here for these kids? Okay, now listen. I'm gonna say this, because I love Mama. I love Brandon. But it is emotional because death is emotional, guys. And we're getting hit hard in this city. All right. So don't let this be a representation of the work, because all of us are doing the work that we can, but it is very emotional. Death is emotional, okay? These are very powerful brothers in the community, you know? So we're gonna have those moments, y'all. We're gonna have those moments. If anybody else want to speak, I hope y'all brothers ain't upset with me, but we don't need y'all brothers arguing, man. We love
I'm
y'all.
not arguing. I'm just making my point.
We have questions. Hold on. Look. If we can't get along and all we showing our kids is we about to fight like Crips and Blood, then no. I'm just saying we argue. We can't do that. We gotta have a united front. Real talk. Everybody here has to be on one page, one accord to help these kids. Nobody's agenda is better. Nobody's program is better. Nobody's nothing is better. We all here to help. No, that's
And yes, women can speak. Women can speak too.
Yeah. Hold on, we got questions from the audience.
Excuse me, I want to say something.
First at a time,
Excuse me,
please.
can I say something?
Let's line up. You want to
Can
talk?
you wait time now?
If you
Please,
want,
but you can speak, but can you wait? We got
Well,
questions
these
right
are
here.
just your Zoom questions. These are not my questions.
Let's just get a little bit more order, so we'll let you speak. I promise you will get to speak.
if y'all want to talk, can y'all line up behind this young lady? Let's get in line so we can know who want to talk. Please.
Let Sherry, man,
So we have an order. Come on, Sherry, gonna get the speed.
Okay, so we just need to know, can we please get links to everybody's organization, because the Zoom is asking? Do we actually have action items and agenda for tonight? Because that seems to be a thing, like a common theme in our Zoom right now. Do we know where we're gonna go from this? We can't, I mean, we're also live, so we need to have, like, make sure we have some actionable items to leave here for them. Everyone's screaming we need solutions. Do any of you guys' organizations focus solely on violence in the city? Yeah,
we do.
I'm just
Well, that's
giving you the question.
It's a lot of questions. Let us answer.
And you can always go back and check the transcript. So these are just the questions. If we can get those answered, and if you guys can get links, I'll go ahead and send them out to them, because that's what they're asking for.
Are you gonna post this Zoom?
I sure will.
So let's answer those questions. So Lumumba is doing work. He has actual gang members. Denver has about 15,000 gang members. Mama cannot fit 15,000 people in his gym. I ran Prodigal Son for 12 years. My budget was over $300,000 when we really started doing work, because I wanted to hire Gerald Wright. He's in here somewhere. I had to pay a staff. We built the Holly Square back after the Crips burned it down to stop a gang war. I respect what Mamba said, but resources are needed, whether it's monetary, whether it's volunteerism, or whatever, okay? So we were gonna talk about action items, but now we kind of got off into a little bit of a disagreement, but that's okay. We need to learn how to disagree as a people, y'all. If we're going to move forward with this work, we have to learn how to disagree and still move forward. So there are going to be some action items, but you guys just heard that they're struggling.
Go ahead, BP, you finish?
What's up? No, I'm just about to go out.
Here's the question. Let's do the question ask.
Yeah,
They line
where
up.
you at, Ashley? Because we could answer the questions. And we could let
Tell them what you So what's the first question? What's the first question?
The first question was, are there any action items or an agenda for this particular?
Yes, and we're coming up with those
Resolving solutions.
action items. Yes, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why we called it, because we need action items. So we're coming up with those. We just want to let the organizations that were here kind of describe what they did. So when we do come up with those action items, we can place them with those organizations that are on, you know, that we can kind of match those action items with each organization. So that's what.
And like I was saying, we were going to break down into who wants to do, because there is a difference between prevention. Prevention work is working with somebody's baby after school. Prevention is taking them hiking. Prevention is feeding them after school. So it does take resources. Are you a mother, ma'am? Okay, so what if I had your child on my after-school program? There's no AC. I haven't given them no food. Some ex-prick is yelling at them, or ex-blood who's not supposed to be there. You have to have trained staff. So yes, prevention work is the long-term goal to end gang violence, because all these babies need something to do after school. They need somebody who's gonna be there, who's cooler in the prick, who's cooler in the blood. Okay, my after-school program was hanging out with the Bloods behind Skyland Recreation Center. That was literally my after-school program. Since then, I've been gunned down twice. I did 10 years in prison, 2 years juvenile, and it really damaged my life, okay? And I'm 43 years old, and I can still admit that. You know, so yes, there's a difference between prevention. There's also intervention. Like Lumumba said, intervention work, you don't need money for that. If you know the Crips, if they respect you, then go talk to them. If you know the Bloods, or you know the RBG gang, and they respect you, you don't need money to do intervention work. Intervention work can be done with relationships. And we wanted to break down tonight who is interested in intervention work, who can do intervention work, and who's going to be able to do prevention work, which is where the greatest need really is in prevention, even though we have a slew of shootings. And hopefully that's a good answer to that question. That's what we want to do. Okay, so go ahead, Sherry.
Thank you for that, Terrence. Those that don't know me, my name is Sherry Landrum. I have been, and y'all excuse me, because I'm already angry. I'm hurt. We're losing our babies to this street. My son was shot by a cop. My son was killed to violence. My daughter was shot to violence. So I know this all too well. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of seeing what I just seen. It's time to hit the streets. It's time to listen to these mothers that are going through this. It's time to stand. It's time to do what we have to do to stop this. Because I am tired. And yes, we do need these organizations. My challenge to all of these officials who say they have money, where is it? Yes, where is it? But still, yet and still, who's gonna get involved in these organizations? Because all I hear is this. We're doing a lot of talking and not a lot of action. And I am fed up. I'm fed up to here. Because I can't see another one of my babies dying. I can't see another one of my babies in jail. I can't see another one of my babies running around here in a wheelchair. I'm tired, y'all. I came to this meeting to simply say, stop talking and get some action going. We have to stop the gun violence put the gun down campaign that just started today. That has been in the works for 2 years, but we have been slacking. We haven't really been slacking. We've just been waiting. But you know what? We're not waiting anymore. These mothers are not taking it anymore. And as I said on my Facebook Live last night, if I have to be the only one out here in the streets, going door to door to talk to these families to see what they need, I will do it myself. Because you know what? I'm tired. And you guys should be tired too. We're not losing all of these older men anymore. We're losing our next generation. And if we don't stop right now and take action right now, and I don't mean this kind of action, I mean this kind of action. Get your butt out in the street. If you see some of these kids doing what they're not supposed to be doing, what you afraid of? Stop being afraid of your kids. Because that's the whole problem with this whole cycle, is we're afraid of our children now. Why? Because the white man said we are afraid because you can't call the police on your children, or the police can't call, the kids can't call the police on you, or they can. But I'm old school. Call the police on me, I don't care. Because I'm going to beat your butt and go to jail afterwards. That's where we're slacking in this community. We don't care anymore. We see something and we let it go. You'll be standing right there in your window watching something go on, and this is what you do. Close your curtain. It's time to stop doing that, y'all. I am so sorry that I'm emotional, but you know what? I'm gonna stop apologizing because this is from here. This is real. Because I have to deal with this on every single level that there is. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through deaths. I'm tired of them. I am tired of RIPs. We need to start seeing some VIPs. I want my timeline to change. And so if you see them kids on your timeline and they doing the stuff that they doing on these TikToks and everything, trust me, I'll say something because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about me. I don't care what you have to say about me, because it's time that we put our foot down as grown-ups, as mothers and fathers, especially you fathers. I don't see none of y'all out here in the streets except these gentlemen right here doing what they got to do. Stop being afraid. It's time. It's time to wake up. We even have our youth out here doing what we should be doing. Putting themselves on the line. We have to do better. We have to. And I don't care, like I said, I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I don't care what nobody has to say about me, because guess what? I'm a mother that's tired.
Yeah, but let's let the community talk, and then we can give some action items for.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Doing great, baby. Can I hear everybody say Black Lives Matter one time? Let me hear it again louder, y'all. Come on, louder than that. Black Lives Matter. Good evening. My name is Michael Sullivan. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. My Mr. Harrison, I'm great friends with Terrence. I want to let y'all know that this black on black violence, it precedes Denver, Colorado. Just in Greenville, South Carolina, I want to give out a short story. In Greenville, South Carolina, there was a concert held. And these new artists have this mentality: shoot first. Reach for their chain, shoot first. Violate, shoot first, gang member stuff. Guy threw up a gang member in the crowd. in the crowd, killed a young lady, a mother of two, shot her dead in the face. That affected me being a young black man. The thing with George Floyd affected all of us. Denver, Colorado, I'm so sorry for all the brothers and sisters who have lost their lives, all the mothers that are here who have lost children. But we have something to do as a community. And I hear what the brothers and the sisters are saying here. But one thing I've been preaching and teaching, I belong to the Nation of Gods and Earths. I am also creating a movement called Black Men United. And the thing about it is we have to reach out. There's no institution bigger than the Black church, period, in America. In America, there's no institution bigger than the Black church. So we have to start reaching out to our spiritual leaders that just don't have to preach to the congregation. They have to be a part of the community as well. I challenge every one of you who are church members that are a part of the church, start reaching out to our spiritual leadership, to get our spiritual leadership involved in the community. Just don't have our spiritual leaders preach to us on Sunday and Wednesday and think that's all. We have to get our spiritual leadership involved because, remember, the community makes the church. The church don't make the community. So we have to really, really get focused on. And another thing I want to speak on. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And thank you, brother, and the other brothers that left. It's going to take one thing else, and I'm gonna cut this short. We have a lot of women in the community that are heading the revolution of change. It's time for our black men to start being black men and stop being black boys. Stop sagging your pants. Stop listening to rap music that promotes from black violence. Stop our children from promoting these artists that are talking about drugs, alcohol, killing one another, because that's part of our problem as a community. And this systemic. All of this is systematic. The drugs, the guns, the music, all of it. Thank you, too. Michael, thank you, Terrence, for allowing me to speak as well. Like I said, I hope to see all you again, more of you, and I hope that I'm able to speak to you more, because we have a community, to our children, to ourselves, to our families. Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Janella. I'm actually just a mother of the community. I'm not an activist. I don't do. I'm a mother of the community. I have a son who's lost 4 friends and one in the hospital. And over the past couple of weeks, it's been the hardest for him because he's never lost so many people so quickly at one time. So I came here just to support the fact that I think that we need to support each other as a community. It's not just going against, police officers and Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. We need to know that our lives matter. We need to know that we need to be supporting each other. One thing that I did see up here, unfortunately, with these great men, and I love you, so with these great men that's up here, sometimes our coping skills when we get into our feelings go to a different level that even as men, sometimes we just need to calm down because this is what we're teaching our kids. And they don't have the coping skills of going to jail or going through different situations. What they see is what they do. So even as men, even though that we're trying to do our best and as mothers and as adults, we have to understand that all of our actions, even in this area and everything that just transpired, my daughter's sitting back there and she saw it, she witnessed it. So we still are a reflection, even though we're trying to do good things. Understand that we're losing our tempers too sometimes. And we're taking it too far sometimes, just trying to make a point. And we could all just relax and kind of get back to really what's at hand. We all love each other. We all want to be here. So let's do what we need to do to make sure that we're all here, agreeing or disagreeing. Let's just work together.
Thank you.
And let me just say this, as a person up here and as a person who really does some things in this community, I'm gonna make a pledge, and I'm not gonna argue with anybody else doing anything from any other organization. That is my pledge to everybody in this room. This is ridiculous. We should be arguing with each other. We should be fighting, especially in front of cameras. You know what I'm saying? We are some proud people in this community. We need to start translating that to our kids. And we can't do that if we're at each other's throats. Everybody up here has a good solution. Everybody up here needs to be listened to, but all the people out there also need to be listened to also. This is a community action, and we need the community to take action. So nobody up here has the right answers, because if we did, we wouldn't be facing what we're facing right now. So we need input from everybody out there, not just the people who are sitting up here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is going to be respected in this room, period. Everybody, no matter what organization you're with, no matter who you represent, you will be respected in this space. So I'm definitely sorry to everybody out here. We got a little upset. You know what I'm saying? We all love each other. We all come from different places. But at the end of the day, we all have the same goal, and that's to help curb this violence and get our kids where we need them to be.
We're gonna let Tremaine speak, and we're gonna let everybody in the line speak. And I'm gonna apologize as well. We called this meeting yesterday. Obviously, the passion is there. We do want to get to action items. You know, we got a lot of passionate people here. People spoke for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, but I'm gonna ask the next speakers, please don't go for 10 minutes, because we want to break down into who is interested in doing prevention work and who is interested in doing intervention work. All right, so we're gonna give you guys the mic for 3 minutes.
So I have a short-term and long-term approach to help our youth that are in challenging or situational environment. I saw on Brother Jeff's page that he basically said, okay, I need 2 families. We're gonna take those 2 families, we're gonna work with those 2 families, we're gonna bring in social workers, community members to help them. And I was like, bam. Okay, so 3 weeks I've been thinking about it, praying about it. So I thought about community churches being a host, work with churches in the community to host the once-a-week meetings. I have 2 host churches for Denver, mine and another one in Montbello. We're going to set up teams, Aurora, Denver, Montbello, Commerce City, wherever there's problems, we can, whatever city. The team will consist of guardian of the youth. When I say guardian, sometimes the parents are not there. Maybe it's a aunt, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's a godmom. Young person going through a challenge. I don't like to say troubled teen. I like to say a young person is going through a challenge. Let's just speak it out. Because we have this child is going to be great. So we just don't want to say he's a troubled teen. He's just in a situation temporary. Okay, we're going to bring in social workers and psychologists, 1 of each if we can. The church youth pastor or a church representative that have a passion for youth. We don't want nobody putting this child down. We want a teenager who inspires and can support the youth at the meeting. We would like a gang prevention person there also if that person is in gangs. The first meeting will consist of letting the youth basically meet the youth and the guardian, introducing the team. Start out by finding what's going on with the youth. Second meeting with the team is to find out what's the next, second meeting just with the team to find out what steps we're going to take with this youth. The third meeting, talk with the guardian youth about the assessment and what we feel is best for them going forward. In the minor case of the situation, we want to basically determine, so I say a minor case is more like a child that's just not really doing illegal activity, but that's just kind of just caught up, right? So what we'll do is we are going to work with all the, get our organizations together. We can get a list of our organizations. We can do that soon. I don't know who's going to do that, but we have so many great organizations in Colorado. So let's get these community organizations together. We are going to put that child in one of those great organizations. We will have accountability meetings after church once a week with the guardian and child in the team. So my last action was, I like the idea that Lawrence had, or somebody has said, put $1,000, I'm so sorry, $1,000, and we can get our own building. I don't have time waiting on city money. Let's start putting our own money together, okay? Severe case, if the youth is in a gang or out of control, I think the child should be taken out of the city. I believe that we should have a house somewhere or a building somewhere that has people there to support this child. They can go to school online, counseling, mental health, drug alcohol counseling, get involved in fun activities, and Zoom meetings once a week with the parents. I believe this will be great because the church needs to get more involved in our community. And whether or not you believe in God or not, we need a spiritual foundation. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Santana Tooks, and I'm one of the case managers with the Center for Trauma and Resilience. And just real quickly, I just want to acknowledge that this is what trauma looks like, right? It looks like anxiety, right? It looks like anxiety. It looks like stress. It looks like an inability to sleep. It looks like isolation and depression, right? It looks like just problems in your relationships, problems in your friendships. But we have to recognize that the community is hurting, right? The community has been traumatized, and we have to come together to find healing together. And if we're beating each other up, then we're just adding fuel to the flame that we've been feeling for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, right? So on behalf of the Center for Trauma and Resilience, I just want to reach out to the community and let you know that we are servicing victims of crime here in Denver, right? We're providing free resources. We're connecting victims of crime to resources in the community. We're providing counseling. We're providing case management and advocacy on behalf of victims of crimes here in Denver. That's domestic violence, right? Whether we're changing locks on doors or boarding up windows, right? That's providing emergency services. That's providing emotional support and counseling, because it's apparent just here today that we're traumatized and we need that assistance. I'm trying to just be strong on behalf of my organization, but I feel triggered. I genuinely feel triggered in this moment just as an individual, you know. So yeah, I just really want to put that plug out there and let you guys know to reach out for support in the event that you need it, because we all need it, right? I'm gonna leave you guys with our website, which is www.traumahealth.org. That's www.traumahealth.org. I think another really important thing to mention is that we operate a 24-hour hotline where we're providing emotional support and connecting victims of crime to services in our community. So reach out when you need the assistance. Realize what trauma is and how it affects the body and how it affects relationships. And wrapping it up, got you. Thank you, brother. And the last thing I'll leave with you is just to ask yourself, how do you cope with trauma and the stress and the things that's happening with our community? What are your coping mechanisms? And who do you reach out to for support, right? And that's all I have. Have a good one.
Hey, check it out real quick. I want to apologize for going up, but that was well needed, because we ain't here to run no programs about it's cool, everybody got a program, that's cool, you know what I mean? But the one thing that everybody got in common here, this line right here, is we all black.
Oh, okay.
We got a black police officer. We got a black man that works for the mayor's office. We got a black man that's active in the streets, gang banging. Now he's doing stuff in the community. You know what I mean? We got a black man who comes from Chicago, been a victim of gun violence. You know what I mean? We got another black man that's been a victim of gang violence. These cats been in the gang. He's been in the gang. You know what I mean? We all black men, right? We all got an agenda. But the purpose of this meeting tonight was to get together to talk about something that we was gonna do for these kids to stop this violence. We can keep talking about all these programs, and we can keep talk about us having trauma. We know we got trauma. If we didn't have trauma, we wouldn't be here. So the thing that we need to be talking about right now is what we're gonna do about it.
Right.
We know there's some problems. We know that the community's broken, but what are we gonna do about it? You know what I mean? When Terrence called me, Terrence had the greatest ideas. Every time he calls me, he said, let's throw a Heal the Hood event. He's been doing this for years. Me seeing Terrence from the hood, from the streets, from Park Hill, seeing him being able to go through the violence. I was there with him when he got into the stuff. I was right there next to him. The mediator, you know what I mean? Between things, stopping this stuff. But he's been through it. He knows the way. I've been through some of this stuff. You know what I mean? I've been through all this stuff. All of us been through some trauma in our life. But what are we gonna do about it? We know it's a problem. We can talk about all the problems, but what's the next step? Terrence, why are we here? And I want you to tell them, brother, because this is about what we came here for. So I know everybody got something to say. Everybody want to talk about what they want done in the community and all that stuff.
but this is an action meeting. We already had meetings to talk about what needs to be done and the ideals that we need to get through to everybody and all that stuff. But Terrence, what are we doing?
All right, hey, hold on, so I'm gonna let you speak, I promise. I promise you get to speak. So the action item that I want to do tonight was, I did want to see who was interested in prevention work. Prevention work is not for everybody. Prevention work is not necessarily for ex-Crips and Bloods out of prison. I love some of you brothers up here, but some of you brothers ain't for 6-year-olds, okay? All right, not for my 6-year-old. Lamumba's a fighter. Lamumba can talk to a Crip or a Blood. Who's interested in intervention work? Do you want to talk to people with pistols on their heads? Can you? Have you been to prison? That was the point of this meeting, for us to say who is even interested. That is an action item. We're not going to end gang violence by Friday by 5 p.m., y'all, okay? If that's what you came here for, then you could probably leave with the rest of the 20 who left too, because it's a long process. It's a long process for a kid to become a Crip or a Blood, okay? It comes from domestic violence. It comes from anger. It comes from abuse. So also this next Sunday, we wanted to talk about the hood march that we wanted to do. We wanted to have the community meet at Brother Jeff. Brother Jeff is back there in the light blue favor shirt. We're going to have the community meet on the 5 Points there and march up here. And we were also going to have people from Montbello Park in the world meet at Central Park. We were going to connect here. We were going to do a huge Childrenhood picnic just to show the kids in the community that we do care, that is something. And all of these things work. We're using these marches to get police reform, and we can use these marches to show that we do take the streets. The march is supposed to be called Heal the Hood, Take the Streets. So if you are interested, we will get the information out about it tomorrow. But these are action items that we want to do. And now we gotta let these sisters speak too.
We're gonna guarantee that we're not gonna speak no more of you. We done too much talking. So we don't let the people up here out here talking to people on watching live.
This Sunday, I'll be having my Gloves Up, Guns Down, Get Your Heads Up in the Hood event at 2360 Dayton Street. That's at the Heavy Hands, Heavy Hearts Foundation. If you guys want to come out, support, come together as a community, that's all it's about, is coming together as a Black community and just support. And to stop the youth violence. Just come out and show your support. Please and thank you.
My name is Monique, and I'm a mother of the community. My children range from age 24 to 5. I came here tonight because I've been wanting to be part of change for a long time. But in order to be part of change, I had to get out of my own way. I had to forgive things that I've done to myself, things I've done to other people. And with this being my first time coming to a meeting, I'm not sure if that's how things start, but I think that a good place would be to center the room, to take a moment for those that have lost their lives, a moment for those that are grieving, a moment for those of us that are confused and lost. I'm here to say that the support that I want to be, I just recently moved from Park Hill to the east side. I lived in Park Hill for 10 years, but I grew up in Park Hill. I've been all around the community. I lived in Montbello, but now the east side is a new territory for me. My son is 14, and with him being 14, he's looking for things to do. And when you don't have nothing to do, then you look for the fake love that's out here. And I think that that's the biggest thing, is that us as parents don't know. We're always quick to say, where are the fathers? Well, it's a lot of fathers that don't know. It's a lot of mothers that don't know. So what I'm saying is that I want to be a support that in the middle of the night, when you don't have anyone to talk to, you know, when you don't know where your child is, where you don't have that number to the neighbor, where you don't have the number to the community leader, I want to be that mother. I want to be that person that can support you, because right now I have a 17-year-old that's battling, and I don't know where she's at. I know where she's at, but mentally, do I know? No, I don't. You know, so how can I be that support? Within my trials and tribulations, I'm ready to lift someone else up. So however I can reach out to you all, that's what I want to do. And that's what intervention, prevention, whatever I can be, that's who I am, because it's not just my children, all the community is my children. And within the recent losses here, Wanye is the brother of my siblings. Well, my siblings Davion, I seen him grow up. So, and you know, when you said boots on the ground, I was like, you know, it was the other night I got up at like 3 in the morning and I wanted to call you and I'm like, well, what do I do? You know, what do I do? Do I hit 30th and Williams all the way to down? What do I do? So the other day, my neighbors were getting into a domestic violence, and I'm gonna try and make this fast. And it was about 5 young brothers who seen this domestic violence, okay? And my son told me, Mom, don't go out there, but who I am, I had to, you know? And so I told him, you know, y'all can't be doing this, you can't be doing this, but I'm worried about her, but at the same time, I'm worried about these 5, 6 young brothers who are about to go beat him to a pulp. And when I made it to that corner, they served him something proper, but I understand that we're all full of anger, you know, but what I'm saying is that they were able to get out that aggression. They didn't use no guns. And that man, I think he's going to think twice again before he lays his hands on that woman. But the biggest thing that stood out to me was that they listened when I told them to stop. They listened when I told them to stop, you know. And so that's just what it is that they need the love. They need the love and they need to know that we care. And when we care, we got to keep loving and keep loving. Even on their worst day, we have to keep loving on them. So I love all y'all and I thank you for this time. I thank y'all for this space. And I hope to see y'all again.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we also want to know, I know we have a lot of people that want to say something. Keep it 3 minutes. This meeting is about solutions. We get everybody has a story, and I appreciate everybody in here. But we're in here for solutions, and I get everybody has gone through some things. We go through things every day. These kids are going through things every day. This meeting is about viable, tangible solutions. So if you have a solution, please get in line. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody in here, but I don't care about nobody else's story right now. I don't care about your past. All I care about is something that we can do for these kids going forward today. If you ain't got that, keep it pushing. I'm sorry. If you have a solution or something to a problem, come up here and share it, please.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
With my mask on? Okay, good. My name is Kiera Jackson. I'm here on behalf of Montbello Organizing Committee, but I'm also part of a network. We call it the RISE Network. Struggle of Love is part of it. FAVA is part of it. Faith Bridge is part of it. Steps to Success, and many others out in Montbello. I'm not here to share a story. I'm here to share a framework and some solutions that we have been implementing in Montbello that we hope that you all can use and join us in this fight. I am tired of these meetings, as all of you guys are. We're tired of these meetings. We have work going on. We have a framework in place. Join us. Stop splintering up. Let's come all together to do this work. So like you said before, it starts with prevention, right? We need to focus on prevention. So I'm going to share a little bit about our framework and how it's structured a little bit. So within the RISE network, our motto is that we're strategic, we're strength-based, and we support all through tiered responses to combat all that threatens to take the lives of our community members, of our brothers and sisters. And so these tiers are, the first one is life support, and that's the prevention work. Now we know that there are some organizations in here that do that work really well. So what do? We're going to let them do that work. Instead of having 20 chefs in one kitchen trying to do the same thing, let's identify that organization, support them in that work, grow that army so we can tackle that. The next section is intervention mentoring. Again, we have organizations underneath this tier already that are doing this work. The next one, victory over violence. That is the healing that we need, obviously that we need to do every single day. Our amazing organization partner, FAVA, they head up that section. Emergency first responders. That's our emergency team, like Jason and Joel, who literally go out to family stores and check on them, who connect them with mental health services, who provide them with food, who help pay for, God forbid, funeral costs. The next section, security sharing resources and sustainability. We need to keep this movement going. We need a structure underneath to make sure that all of these tiers work. And so that's where my organization comes in, Montpello Organizing Committee. We do a lot of grant writing for this work. We do a lot of like behind the scenes support, steps to success as well. And that's our framework. Those are the areas that we're tackling. Join us in this work. We're on Facebook. You can find us as the RISE Network. We want to bring all of you guys in. This is not just specific to Montpello. It doesn't have to be. So that's what we're doing. And we're doing this work. I hope y'all join us.
Thank you. We're gonna make sure before we do this, we're gonna have a solution or we're gonna have you get off the mic.
I'm just telling you, man. Well, I'm telling you.
Check this out, man. We talk about prevention. What are we trying to prevent? I mean, do y'all think it's, we're gonna try to prevent people from becoming gang members, being tribal. We're tribal in nature. We click up. We kick it with who we kick it with. What needs to be prevented is, how do you do it with your anger? How do you respond to conflict? You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of stupid shit, you know, in our mental capacities in this adolescence. We don't understand nothing but being mad. You see what I'm saying? And there's always somebody that's gonna backbait you on being angry. Yeah, I'm pissed off too, bro. I don't like that motherfucker neither, bro. You know what I'm saying? My solution, it's simple. See, a lot of us, we get deep in this, and I'm an active member of Tendus Women Out of the Prayer. But I ain't shit tripping on nobody. I be with the Bloods, I be with the East Side Cats, I go to the Bellows, and I'm welcome. I adopt my brother. I'll see somebody out there hurting, and I'll just lean on, hey, what's up? All that. A lot of people run the gangs because parents and family get tired of the mistakes. They're not allowing nobody else to have their growing experience. You see what I'm saying? It's so easy to quit somebody, but when you quit them, somebody gonna get them. You feel me? You can just only hope that he lands in the right place. So if you care and you want to be able to wake up and call that brother or sister, make sure you wake up and call them every chance you get. You know, like, be aggressive about loving them like you be aggressive about being mad at them. Real shit. That's it. I ain't never hated nobody because of the color of their rag or where they grew up. For anybody that don't know, my name is Danny Miles. My grandfather was Reverend Henry Miles, First Lady Thelma Miles, Bethlehem Baptist Church. And they had holidays before they died. You see what I'm saying? I went to that church every Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday, BTU, all that shit you can think of, right? How the fuck I still end up in prison? You know what I'm saying? It's funny how, this is my grandfather, I love him to death, I'll never speak no ill on him. I understood later, but not at first, because I'm an adolescent. My mind is in this adolescence. How is it you can walk through a whole church and you can just cherry pick people? Oh, God told me you need prayer. God told me you need prayer. Nigga, I need prayer. You can't feel me, cuz. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody got patience for everybody but theirs. So we find somewhere that we feel like we belong. I got brothers and sisters that ain't my brothers and sisters, but blood can make us no closer. You know? I became a man in prison. Honestly. I kept falling on my face. And I knew wasn't nobody gonna save me. Because niggas get tired. Mamas get tired. And they were reinforced to believe that, you know what, you just gotta wash your hands of it. They gonna get it. Well, thank God I got it. You know what I mean? I still go out here, man. I deal with T-Rob. All these people back here, my brother, they all know me in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm not scared to go to the Holly, to the Nickel, to the Crown Market. I grew up on Colfax in Yosemite. You know what I'm saying? I'm really in there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not coaching niggas to be on no bullshit. I'm really trying to teach, hey, here's a resource for you, little mama. You don't know how to do this? Point the direction. If you see them hurting, grab them. Whether you know or not, just grab them. Let them know that you see them.
Most of the people that spoke life on me didn't even fucking know me. They didn't know me. I thought they was just being nice. I didn't even know how smart I was until I went to prison, trying to get some good time off, taking a GED class and accidentally passed. Damn, I guess I ain't getting no good time. But I read at college level. Speak life. That's all I'm saying. Love hard and don't take your hand up. We don't have to luxury for that shit no more.
Hey, Mr. Church, right now. Make sure we got the information. Hey, to everybody who has paper on their table, this is a chance for you to write your solutions down, your information down, questions, concerns. We're going to collect everything and we're going to examine everything. So make sure you have any solutions. If you don't get to the mic, Brother Jeff, you come to the mic.
Hey, before we get to writing, Terrence, like you said, we had an action item. So what, under my understanding, what we want to do is if you're interested in prevention, let's move to the tables on this side. If you're interested in intervention, let's move to the tables on this side.
Define the difference.
Prevention is catching them before that gangbang, period. Intervention is everything after. And prevention is everything before they even involve. Before they even involve.
I want to shout out a couple organizations that didn't get a chance to speak. Moms Demand Action, who's here, who always support us here, speaking to our issues on a national level. Give them a shout out. There was somebody else I forgot. Kay Anderson's in here.
Hey, so if you're interested in prevention, let's move to these two tables.
Yeah, okay, good.
Intervention, let's come to this side.
All right, and while you guys are switching up, I want to introduce you, my guy Taj. He was just shot. Taj. All right, this is Taj. He was shot 5 times. I'm going to give him a word. If everybody could be quiet, I want to get to my guy Taj. He got shot 5 times about 3 weeks ago.
It was longer than that.
So, yeah. First of all, let me apologize if I just come in here and jumped in front of anyone.
Hold on. Can y'all just give Taj just a second, please? That man just got out the hospital.
I came here to talk about 2 things, and both of them in the area of, well, one in the area of intervention. My brother my brother Lawrence is part of the intervention side with myself. We work at Second Chance Center. Our goal is to provide services for people coming out from incarceration. And so we end up dealing with a lot of people who did not benefit from prevention. So we deal with the stuff that comes after. I'm also here standing next to my brother Lumumba because I also worked at his organization, Heavy Hands and Heavy Hearts, which is part of the whole intervention side that we're talking about and prevention. The brother talked about looking for solutions. The one that was just speaking was talking about looking for solutions, and especially with dealing with anger, because we all know that in some way, shape, or form, that anger and violence come together. And so we work with especially youth to deal with that anger. We all, both of us and all of us that work together at the center, we're all fighters, we're all trained, we're all dangerous. We all learned the lesson that that's not what life is about. And so I just wanted to plug the Heavy Hand, Heavy Heart Center and mention about Second Chance Center because I really only did it not to plug us, to be quite honest. I did it to offer some hope. I think everyone has come together in this meeting because there's always a question of hope, and we're looking for solutions because we feel like we're losing hope. All you gotta do is turn on the news, and that's a very clear example. I'm standing here in front of you all as a result of violence. I don't know who perpetrated it, but somebody decided to shoot me 5 times. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything to deserve it. I got shot in the head, in the arms, and in the shoulder, and I only did one thing, I lived. And so I'm standing here and really, I didn't fight to live. I just woke up when I was alive. So by the grace of God, I stand here with you. And anything that I can do in my capacity to provide hope and help to provide these solutions and make them actual and real things so that we stop seeing this shit that we see on the news, I am standing here at your service. Thank you for your time.
All right, so I cut some people off right here, and I'm sorry for that. Who else needs to speak? If you want to speak still, please keep it to under 3 minutes, so then we can separate. Okay, come on if you want to talk real quick.
Please have a solution also.
Hey y'all, can you hear me? If you can hear my voice, clap one. All right, my name is Portia and I am an educator. And I haven't heard from any educators. And this is
Michael Diaz Rivera, also an educator.
And I work with a lot of different organizations and I consider myself a bridge builder. So my solution is just for us all to come together. Make sure you leave your name, leave the organization that you're working with. If you're really interested in doing something, make sure that we have a way to get in touch with you. I think the education piece is really important. I've heard, oh, you know, our elected officials this and our elected officials that, and that's really important, but teachers' voices are important. And I think that the way I think about it is there's pieces to the puzzle. There's a lot of things that we need to change, And so that's all I want to say is that education is really, really important. And just to make sure that you are staying connected with different organizations. And that's pretty much all I want to say.
Yeah, I'll just follow up on that. My name is Michael Diaz. Oh yes, please. My name is Michael Diaz Rivera. I'm a part of multiple organizations as well, but I don't even want to talk about it. I want to talk about the need for us to get connected right now. We're getting ready to go back to school, and they are trying to put our lives in danger. I don't think that's okay. I think as community, it's time for us to come together. But also, I want you to, as community, we have all the power to do everything we need to do. It's a reason these politicians just stepped out. And we should not even be bringing these police into our spaces. It's abolition. We know what these police are doing to our communities. Stop bringing these police into our spaces.
Anybody else?
First and foremost, most of you already know me. My name is Elijah Judah, also known as Young Activist. I just want to let y'all know a little bit about, my personal life. I'm gonna make it real short. I actually come from a gang family, gang bangers, pimps, drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Like my own sister is a prostitute, right? I have a lot of experience when it comes to seeing things in our community that are toxic, that are destroying our youth, right, at a young age. So I'm gonna let y'all know this straightforward. In order to really stop this violence that's going on, first and foremost, shout out to everybody who was up here at the panel, from T-Rod to Jason McBride and GRASP and all these other organizations. It's our job to be able to create self-value within these kids by changing the education system. Period, point blank. Like, that's the only way. Because when you're teaching that your forefathers are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and all these other individuals at hand, a lot of these kids are not getting self-value at home and they ain't getting self-value in schools. So guess what? They're gonna end up getting it from the streets. That's the only places they really making their family. They usually find them at schools. You're seeing a lot of these kids out here gang banging because that's what they see as their family. But instead, what the system and the society does is they try to toxify that. Make it seem like these kids ain't worth nothing. But in reality, all they really need to do is be around positivity, a positive change, and us to actually give a damn about it. Like, real talk. We gotta stop acting like these kids is toxic, man. They ain't toxic, they hurt. They actually need somebody to listen to them. A lot of these kids don't feel like they're being listened to or heard. That's why it's our job to make sure that we actually not scared of them. A lot of y'all in here, I'm gonna keep it a band. A lot of us are scared of these kids. Ain't no reason to be scared of a kid. It's our job to make sure that they feel valued. And so that's why we got people like T-Rod. That's why we got people like Lamother. Got people like Jason. Because it's their job and our job to make sure that we leading these kids to the proper path that they need to be in, which is self-value. Love your neighbor as you would love yourself, and stop acting scared like it really is a discussion. It's not no discussion. Create the change by actually giving a damn about these kids. That's all I got.
Peter, thank you. I left my name and phone number right here on this list, and I encourage you to do the same and to leave what you're interested in, whether it's prevention or intervention. So I'm just, be the change you wish to see in the world. Yeah, be the change you wish to see in the world. You're welcome, Terrence. Thank y'all for doing this. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Hi, everybody, real fast. My name is Peter Humbella.
I'm a senior political science major at Howard University, and I also serve as the president for 10 for 10. One thing I want to say is we had a very powerful platform today. I literally got off work at 7:30 and I raced down here so I can see what the community looks like, how change looks like. And then as soon as I got here, there was everybody outside because we, as adults, we couldn't be in one room together and actually like persevere, caring up about the kids to put our ego aside. And so I'm really disappointed right now because I'm speaking and this room is empty when it has so potential to create change. We talk about the arguments on the street, we talk about like all the issues that's happening on the streets, and then as adults we say, we get in a room talking about let's create change, and then we can't even necessarily hold to get ourselves together to actually see the conversation through. I understand like there's a lot of frustration that comes from like these conversations, but we need perseverance when it comes to dealing with like black kids getting killed on the daily. You can't necessarily get angry because your ego got hurt, because your voice wasn't necessarily like uplifted on top of everybody else. This sucks. Like, this is powerful right here, and we can't even use this space to actually like call for real change. But as a youth, one thing I will say is I don't know the answer. At 10 for 10, we've been organizing a lot of events centered around uniting youth, tackling the issues in our community and everything. And one of the reasons why I came here today specifically is because we're organizing a rally on Friday from 5 o'clock to 8:30. It's gonna start off from Montbello High School and go to Rec. But one of the things I wanted to be intentional about was like coming out here and understanding what the community looks like, what the community actually wants, and then what the community is divided amongst itself when it's supposed to be creating change. But as a youth leader right now, I'm gonna ask, please, we need your support. We're sick and tired of hitting the streets and saying Black Lives Matter, but there's no actual change that comes from it. We're sick and tired of going out and like crying, where we had a visual and all our speakers and our singers were crying the whole time because their friend just got shot. And that's not okay. So as a youth leader, I'm here asking for you guys' help. We have a rally coming up. Please, if you know or you think you have a solution to like some of the issues in our community, please reach out to me. Because I value your voice. I want to hear exactly what you're saying. I want to take the time to listen. Because in order to actually be effective in the community, we have to put our egos aside. We have to actually like care about the kids enough to say, okay, maybe here's what I think. And you don't have to necessarily like take my answer for what it is, but like I want to work with you here. I want to build with you. Please, if you're going to build with me, if you're going to build with 10 for 10, if you're going to build with the youth, I'm right here. My name is Peter Bombello once again. My number is 720-789-9924. I'm going to say my number again. My number is 720-789-9924. Please reach out to me. Hit me up on Facebook if you have a solution, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion on how we can be effective in our march, how we can be effective in our demand. Thank you.
All right, we appreciate that. First, let me say this, man. No, hold on. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. Man, look, I'm not talking I'm embarrassed right now because of how y'all acted in here. We sat here and arguing and fighting. You're still talking, sir, and I get you parents today, and I respect that. But let me speak. We don't get to those young ladies, but I want everybody in this room to know how embarrassed because of how we acted in this room. This is what's the problem. This is what the problem is. We act like brothers pick ourselves. We fight ourselves. Who in here had a solution? This was a solutions meeting. I heard about 3 or 4 solutions with 100 people. We've been at that. We should have been at that. That should have been the first thing we had. But we didn't. We had too many people. Lawrence, you can't talk to them. We had too many people with too big of egos, and we haven't got anything done. And I feel like we've all wasted time in here. So if there are people who are serious in here, my information is on Facebook. Please write down your solutions on those papers and get them to me. Because I'm about solutions. I'm not about these cameras. I'm not about any of this bullshit arguing back and forth. I want something done before something hits my family. All right, before one of my people get killed. Honest.
We're gonna let this young lady talk, and then we're gonna get to these action items designed. That's how we're gonna do it.
My question, I have a question. I don't have a solution. I don't really know how to fix it, but I have a question. And it was asked earlier, and unfortunately we bumped heads and had a disagreement. We're human. We're not allowed. We're not supposed to agree with every single thing that we say. It's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay to not know the answer. It's okay to have different things. But my question is, as the police chief, I haven't heard anything from you. And my kids want to be police officers, but their dads, their uncles, The people that grew up, they're gang members. So they don't know positive things. But I can't go to the police and be like, hey, my kid wants to be a police officer because we don't know y'all. Y'all are friendly to us. I don't know, my kids can't grow up and be nothing positive because y'all mayors and everybody, y'all don't come down to the hood and let us know that we can be important. We're gang members because the gang members let us know we're important. People become Crips because the Crips came when I was hungry and fed me when my mama was a crackhead and my house was a crack spot. The Crips took care of me. I got to walk down the little whoop-de-whoop's house and he took care of me. He made sure I made it to school in the summer violence and my shoes wasn't taken off my feet. So when we sit up here, we talking like people move up in the world and they forget where they come from. They forget what really happens. They forget their household. We have a lot of Black police officers. And it hurt me to see that none of y'all took to Facebook. None of y'all stood up and been like, we don't stand for this shit. I didn't put on the badge for this shit. So all we know is that y'all stand for that shit. And y'all okay for that shit. And that's the problem. That's why our kids are getting home at AKs and everything else. Because they don't have a positive influence but the Crips. And they got AKs. The Bloods, they got AKs. That's what they got. They got the dope. They got the money. They're able to supply the Jordans. I don't see none of y'all. None of y'all. And it's sad. And I'm mad because when I got here, this place is full and it's empty. It's empty. We came here for our babies. I got a 13-year-old. I got a 12-year-old. I got a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And I'll give my life before I be damned. Before I be damned to let them fall victim to the streets. But I know kids whose mama's out here who can't do that. I know kids who out here who are hungry. Who go to school because that's where they eat. Who go to school because that teacher, she gives a hug. She knows when he's sad. She knows when he's fucked up. That's what we need. Y'all want a solution? That's the solution is love. These kids got a lack of love. And we are divided. I can't raise a boy. I'm not a man. I don't give a damn what I went through, what I think I know. I can't teach my son to be a man under no circumstances. As I stand here, I can't teach my daughter how to be loved by a man. I can't. And I can't expect this man to love me when he ain't never been loved. He ain't gonna love me right. And if I ain't never been loved right, I'm always like, fuck that nigga, fuck this nigga. What you think my daughter gonna grow up and do to that same little boy? It's just a vicious cycle. So I'm sorry for ranting and raving, my bad. My question is, as in the mayor's office and as the police chief, what are y'all solutions? What are y'all talking about? How do y'all feel about y'all? You a Black man, this your community. You didn't become a police chief for nothing. Let us know where y'all stand, because right now, I don't know where y'all stand, and I got a problem with that. The mayor got money.
Looks like we got some more talking. Hey, while they're talking, can we do something really quick though? Can we put the prevention people on this side while they're talking? Intervention here, and I forgot, family violence, domestic violence over here. We're supposed to be doing all three. Can we separate while these two men are talking, and then we can get to the business. Thank you. 5 minutes when they're done, but we gonna know where it's at, right? All right.
So let me just answer a couple of the questions I think were legitimate questions. First, let me say that I'm not for any of the violence that's been perpetrated in our community, not violence that's been perpetrated amongst each other, nor am I for any of the violence that the police department has perpetrated on Black and brown people. So I'm not for that. I have been, and I can't even count the number of marches that I've been in since George Floyd's death. So I think that I have stood tall saying as a representative of the city that I don't stand for that. And I think there's a lot of others who may not have taken to Facebook, but I think there's a lot of others that stand behind me and not standing for that and not tolerating that any further. I would agree with you that there are opportunities for us to stand as role models, and I would put myself out there as being willing to do that. I think that there are opportunities for us to do that. I think we could talk about creating more opportunities to do that. In addition to that, I think that that's a part of some reform that we could talk about. I think that it's a legitimate and necessary conversation to talk about criminal justice reform and police reform. Part of that reform should include providing more engagement opportunities for all of our members of the community, including young people. And then the last thing that I'll say before I turn it over to Michael to talk about some of the funding opportunities that the city has provided is that the answer to all of the youth violence that occurs in this community, and I'll actually say our community, because I'm a Denver resident. I've been a Denver resident for 50 years. So this is my community. And I'm sick and tired of seeing what happens. Yes, but the answers have been in this room. The answers are still in this room. And when I leave, the answers will be in this room. We need to get together and talk about and come to some agreement on what those answers and solutions are. So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Sapp. I want to thank the organizers for setting this meeting up. I'm from Montbello. I grew up in Montbello. I lost two of my best friends to gang violence. One was killed in a drive-by shooting. That's where I met Brother Jeff. Gang shooting, and another one of my friends got killed in our cafeteria. It was at that moment when I decided that I wanted to be a part of the solution. And I went to Morehouse, came back to my community, and started serving in my community. I love y'all. I'm here to listen. And yes, I do work for Mayor Hancock. But my objective tonight was just to listen, to brainstorm, to get around solutions, because you all do have the answers. And yes, we do have a mini grant program that's designed for the community. Back in January, we were seeing an uptick in youth violence. We were seeing an uptick in gang violence. And that's why we partnered with Denver Public Schools. And we did have a mini grant program, and it was a matching funds with Denver Public Schools. It was $100,000, and it was a $100,000 match. But we got hit with the coronavirus pandemic that has depleted this entire globe. We are facing a $267 million budget deficit in the city and county of Denver, but yet still, we still delivered $100 million in grants to our residents of the people of Denver. Now, where are those dollars? Those dollars have now been allocated to organizations all over the city. A lot of folks that spoke that are no longer here, a lot of the folks who were here are funded through those mini grant dollars. That doesn't mean that the conversation is over. That doesn't mean that we're not willing to spend money. We hear you. When you say defund police, we look at that as how do we reimagine police? How do we reimagine public safety? In the Citizens Oversight Board, which is a volunteer organization with the independent monitor, they're having these dialogues, right? We launched a program back in June under Chief Hazen's leadership called Support Team Assistant Response. It's a program that's based in Eugene, Oregon. We're no longer sending police officers to low-level crimes in the city and county of Denver. And since June 1, this program has responded to over 136 individuals who are having suicide, mental health disorders. Right. And they haven't had to use a police officer not one time. Now you wonder why I got up and I tried to check my brother, not to be confrontational, because we can no longer sit back when we're doing progressive work in the city and not check information that's not valid. Right, okay, good. You have a right to know what is going on in your city. And my thing is, if you're gonna protest, know the facts.
Call them out.
Know the facts. And if we're wrong, we own it. And guess what? The chief right here, those officers that messed up, they'll be terminated if evidence proves that they were in violation of our use of force policy. So we're here to listen. I didn't even want to speak tonight. So I'm gonna pause because I'm gonna stay here to the end. I'm not leaving. Let's get to some prevention, some intervention, and some pressing tactics. And I'm glad Moms Against Demand Action are here, because in January, we also partnered with this organization to deliver Safe Block. program to our city. And with a board member, Tay Anderson, that did the resolution to try to protect our guns in our community, because we know they're out there. So how do we educate our folks who appreciate Second Amendment rights to lock their guns? So we're here. I'm done talking. Let's get to the group session. All right, like Mr. Staff said, we're gonna get to the group session. We're gonna take a 5-minute break and let everybody kind of straighten themselves out. We're not gonna be here that much longer. We're gonna get to the group session, get some action items, get some solutions, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
Please come back.
We have like 4 cameras around. We have all sorts of cameras all over the place. So if you sit in front of one, it's okay. We'll put one on the other one. So I'm worried about it. We've been supporting as much as we can.
Y'all go outside, see all the brothers out there and sisters.
So which company are you with, huh? Which company are you with?
We just have teenagers who are we live in Parkview, and we just have teenagers that we are concerned about.
Of course, especially like
So
right
we're just
now.
concerned about-
I couldn't even sleep that night.
Right.
I really couldn't hear everything that was going on. I was just, so I understand. So.
We already started.
Yes,
She's been fighting at you all the time.
That's right.
So that stuff provided us for so we gotta get some love. I mean, I don't like the violence and stuff, but yeah, we gotta give me real love.
Your presence is enough. You know what I'm saying? Just to see you there, no one's asking. You know, there's no speeches. It's your presence. We're here on this side. We're not the enemy. Everybody out here is still walking around. That's not what everybody is. My name is Kelly Jones. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Kelly is my niece. I'm Titi. I'm her auntie. Yeah. Good to meet you, sir.